Hello friends, 7 gram doing TCGs yet again. It is that time. A new Flesh and Blood product. We've got Compendium of Rathe. So it's essentially, what do we want to call it? It is a premium, a premium, what was the old name for it? Expansion set, but was replaced by the supplementary. That was the word. Sorry about that. It's basically a premium supplementary set. 9 cards per pack, but lots of cool stuff, lots of throwbacks, and it is specifically being used to help ramp up and kick off the official launch of Sage, Silver Age, the official budget format, the sort of the blitz replacement. Ooh, box topper. I think I'm gonna save all those for the end. I might do 2 cases in this video. I haven't completely determined that yet. I've got a little bit of a time crunch, so it'll depend on how quickly I go through it. But there are a lot of cards. There's been a lot of previews. I've kind of looked through them, most of them already, but it kind of just depends on how much time I look at everything. Lighten the load, pirate attack. When this attacks, you may discard a card or destroy an item you control. If you do, go again. Mirage, when it's defending, so it's got there's a lot of Mirage I've noticed in the set. If you use it to defend, it poofs. So be careful. There's a cool card. Target weapon attack gets +4 if it's been sharpened. I'm not positive I would actually seen that one. That one gets a place in Happy Land. Okay, so like I say, 9 packs or 9 cards per pack, a foil slot and 3 rare slots, one of which can be replaced by something better. So there's our first foil, and there's our first Majestic in the first pack as well. So 3 rare slots in the back. One of them can be replaced by a like a Majestic or better. So we get our first Majestic, Cheating Scoundrel, a pirate one. Next attack action card you play this turn gets +3. And wagers with the defending hero. The winner creates a gold token. The next time you would lose a wager this turn, instead you may discard a card. If you do, you win the wager. That's kind of nasty. All right. I like that the gold pack was kind of fancy, put on a cardboard to help protect it a little bit too. I like that a lot. Keep it from shuffling around too terribly much. And I just noticed that is facing a little upper than I meant to. So let's fix that. Conquer the Icy Terrain. This was another cool one. When this hits a hero, they may pay 2. If they don't, destroy a frozen card in their arsenal or a frozen non-hero permanent they control. So yeah, there's all kinds of nasty stuff popping up in this set. Cloud cover. Next time you'd be dealt damage, prevent 2. Simple enough. Walk in my shoes. Rainbow Goo Trap. When this defends an attack with attack greater than its base, dominate and go again. The attack gets -2 and loses and can't gain abilities. That's fascinating. And Concealed Sedative. It's a cloaked piece of equipment. Equip face down. When an attack with attack greater than its base hits you, destroy this and create an inertia token under each opponent's control. Okay. So yeah, so basically each, individual heroes to different degrees, but every class, there's another display of craftsmanship. I'm going to keep my warrior stuff separate just because I'm definitely going to want to look at it. So it's five commons, a foil, and the 3 rare slots, and I see a cold foil. Ooh. So we get Evo legs, a gauntlet. So a lot of this equipment is rare because rare is the highest level equipment you can have in Silver Age, in Sage. Control a hyperdriver +2 Guardwell. Cool. So our first cold foil. They've upped the cold foil rates a little bit. They say, they say. What I've read is that Sprout Strength, attack gets +1, attack gets +1, your attack gets +1. That's so fun. There's our first rare foil. That cold foils are slightly more common overall, not necessarily like super fancy ones. Plus, there's all the cool old stuff, reprints in new frames in the gold packs. Havoc Wrap, action. It's a chaos equipment. Okay. Go again. If it's tapped, card costs 1 less to play. This doesn't untap during the end phase, and this gets at the start of your turn, destroy it. Interesting. Aggressive Pounce. I don't know why I keep sleeving the base foils. I'm going to quit doing that. Wax and Wane. That's cool. Mystic Illusionist. Choose one or both. Put a +1 counter on target blue aura. Put a +1 counter on target aura with ward. If you choose both, search your deck for an energy, reveal it, shuffle, and put it on top of your deck. Sure. Okay. So yeah, this is a big set. Lots of little things for everybody. And, you know, a couple big... big boosts for different things here and there. Ghost Protocol Architect. If this was banished from boosting this turn, you may play it from Banish Zone. Evo upgrade. When this attacks, search your deck for an Evo with cost less than or equal to the number of Evos you have equipped. Banish it and shuffle. That's kind of cool. Okay. Cut and Carve. Sharpen Target Sword. So this is for our new gal that's coming up, Hala. And probably some of the other ones. Not as much a Dorinthia card. Since the Sharpen mechanic. Of course, we're out with your Throne Blade. You can banish 2 Earth cards and an action card from your graveyard. If you do create and bottom end of Earth, create 3 Rune Chain. Amazing. If you... Part of the Sharpen mechanic is you get rid of all of the counters at the end of the turn. Unyielding Grip. If you have no cards in your hand, gets +3 defense. That's kind of awesome. I say it's kind of awesome. That's kind of cool. It's a good emergency option. Duty Bound Blitz. Blessing of Themis. Okay. Go again. When this enters the arena, name a card. Turn all cards with that name in Banish Zones face down. Whenever a card with this name is banished while this is in the arena, turn that card face down. At the start of your turn, put this in your soul. Okay, cool. So we're definitely getting a lot more rares because it's display craftsmanship. There's a yellow one. There's a rare foil. Embalm. There's another majestic for us. What do? We're a shadow action. You may play this from your Banish Zone. If you do, it gets go again. Put an attack action card with Blood Debt from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck. Okay. Okay. So there's some cool majestics at the very least. And a couple of neat, like I said, already some warrior shenanigans I like. Lots of different equipment. We're getting tons and tons and tons. This set is massive, actually. There's 300 something cards in the set, which is the largest we've seen so far for Flesh and Blood. So there's, Herald of Victoria. Instant, discard this until end of turn. Attack action cards your opponent controls get -1 while attacking and defending. And it's a Phantasm 2/7/3. That's pretty solid. Ooh, there we go. That is the reprint New Art Enlightened Strike Legendary. Whew, we are happy with that. First big hit of Compendium of Rathe. We dig it. I didn't look for warrior cards. I'll find them later. Seeds of Strength. There is another Majestic. Mind meets Might. It's Illusionist. When this hits a hero, they reveal their hand and discard all cards with 6 or more attack. Then they draw that many cards. And it is a Mirage, which again is the defensive poof. That is really handy, but ooh, scary. And there is another cold foil coming up. Rare cold plating of Unity. That's kind of, oh, it's got the Unify, that's right. Block with something from hand, it gets +1. And we get a Gloves of Erasure. When this leaves the arena, destroy target aura token. Cut and carve, so there's another Sharpen. Again, not Dorinthia, but still a handy warrior card nonetheless. Strike twice, deal 3 arcane to any target. If you dealt arcane to an opposing hero this turn, you may play this as though it were an instant. That's nice. Destroy 2 silver to equip it. To activate only while this is in your graveyard. Spell void 1. Okay. That's actually pretty handy. Oh, I'm hyped by this stuff already. There's a lot of neat stuff that I'm seeing, even for not necessarily snarky prick. I get the feeling that has a double meaning. When this attacks a hero, look at the top card of their deck. If it's red, destroy it, and this gets +4. That's pretty nice. And Overbold. Colors of Aria, Skywarden. Burnished Breastplate, alright. So far, this is pretty interesting. We've got art from all the different set styles. We've got cool reprints like E-Strike. Lobotomy, what do we do? It's a stealth attack. It is 0 for 3. When this attacks, you may equip an Orbitoclast from your inventory. When this hits a hero, if you control an Orbitoclast, they lose all hero card abilities during their next action phase. Okay. There's another duty-bound blitz. There's some cloud cover. Voltic. Gloves of Erasure in the non-cold foil version. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on here. Again, a lot of it is giving boosts, giving some cards. And there is cold foil number 3. This one's a Majestic. Rust-Fine Elixir. Your next attack gets +3. You may destroy an inertia token you control. If you do, gain a health. That's pretty nice, actually. That's kind of awesome. And it's a 3-block generic. Templar Spellbane. It's a warrior equipment. Destroy it. Prevent the next 1 arcane that would be dealt to you this turn. If you've activated a weapon this turn, instead prevent the next 2. Battle-worn 1. I don't hate that at all. Doubling Season. When this is face up in any zone, if it would gain attack, instead it gains that much +1. Serpent's Kiss. Man. What a start. Drag down, that's kind of neat. Serpent's Kiss foil. There's another Majestic for it. Blessing of Bologna. Go again. Whenever a card is put into your, it's an aura. Put into your soul, create courage at the start of your turn. Put this into your, that's pretty solid. That's not bad at all. Again, so the Majestics are obviously going to be for, old Blitz format and classic constructed. Since Majestics cannot be played in Silken Symphony. When this is destroyed, create Might Ward 1. Sure. Since Majestics and up cannot be played in Sage. It's rares and commons only. Smoldering Seal, Frostbite, and Smoldering Scales. Lots of smoldering. We're smoldering a lot. That feels dangerous. All right. Box 1 was pretty solid. We got that E-Strike. You know, E-Strike is always kind of one of those up there. I say it's come down a lot more from where it used to be. Its highest of heights as more cards have come out in the world. But it still has largely been a Majestic that sees a lot of work, and so this legendary reprint is pretty neat. I missed a warrior card. It's another cut and carve. Again, not a Dorinthia card, but a good warrior card nonetheless. Red Kimono of Laird. It's a mystic instant, and you gotta pay a chi, turn face up, put a +1 counter on this. Start of your turn, destroy it. Okay, okay. Distant rumbling. Inflame the Firebrand. When this attacks, if you control 2 or more Draconic Chain Links, it gets go again. 3 or more of your attacks are Draconic, this combat chain, and 4 or more, this gets +2. That's pretty rad. We've got a Brute, lay down the challenge. Intimidate target hero. Then if they have more cards in hand than you, draw a card. Go again. That for 0, that's pretty fantastic, actually. A 0 block 3, that's pretty nice. Break open them chests. Monolith. What do we? Choose 1 or more. Cost 3. Destroy target frozen ally. Destroy target frozen aura. Destroy target frozen equipment. Destroy target frozen item. That's kind of gross. Like in that delightfully, oh, that's a good card kind of way. Display of craftsmanship. I haven't seen the warrior card that I really want to see yet. Sigil of Voltaris. Lightning Runeblade. When this enters or leaves the arena, deal 1 arcane to target hero at the beginning of your action phase. Destroy this? Sure. That feels like another one of those things where they're going to be using shenanigans to get rid of it and leave it from the arena and then throw it back at you again. Alright, there is first cold foil here and the base Cortex, which is the same one we got last time. That's delightful. I always love that. That's sarcasm. That's not actually true. I'd prefer not to get the same low-level cold foils, but you know what? Here we are. Blunton. This card I want to like. I'm just not sure about it. So it's a block 2. When this defends a weapon attack, the attacking hero discards a card. I want to like it. I just don't know. Even though that appears to be Dorinthia on the card, I just don't know if I actually like that in Dorinthia or not. I haven't talked myself into it. Y'all are gonna have to talk me into that one. Still, display craftsmanship. It's a cool looking card. Tiger Trap. When this defends and the attacking hero controls 3 or more attacks with attack greater than their base, attacks they control can't gain attack this turn. That's kind of neat. Seismic Shift. Ooh, there's our first rainbow foil Majestic in that foil slot. At least I think so. I don't think I missed one. As an additional cost to play this, tap X Seismic Surge tokens you control. Destroy X target aura tokens. Go again. That's rude. Ransack and Raise. Destroy target landmark with cost X. Create X gold. That also seems rude. if you're into the whole landmark sort of thing. Tough as a rock. Oh, there's the Draconic Artivore. As an additional cost, discard a Phoenix Slam. Draconic attack actions get +1 this turn. Draw 2 cards. That's pretty nasty. That's a really good Draconic attack or Draconic action, I think. Lighten the load. I think I see a Marvel. I do see a Marvel. Evo Beta base head. So they don't have, they're not full art on the back since they're not a hero, but that looks pretty nice. Looks really nice. The base head equip, transform it into this and equip. Evo heads cost you 1 less to play. All right. You know what? Majestics go up there now. Majestics go up there now. That's pretty nice. Don't hate that at all. There's some craftsmanship. Hey, there's a Sigil of Fate. Shatter Sorcery. Helm of Safe Haven. When this defends, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an attack action, add it to this chain link as a defending card and discard a card. See, there's just a lot of neat stuff. Like I say, I don't know that... I mean, there might be stuff that I haven't seen yet or haven't paid attention to that is really... And there's another cold foil. Soul Ray Plating, light equipment. There's probably stuff that I haven't paid attention yet that will be particularly potent for a particular class or two. There almost always is. Cheating Scoundrel. Okay, we've seen one of these already. That's a pretty good pirate majestic, though. But so much of the set, like, they're like, well, we're not going to not give our classic constructed players anything. We're going to give them something. But it's also definitely a Sage kickoff set in many, many ways. There's Sapwood Elixir, Frailty Token this time. Okay, I think I like these cards a lot. Now that I've seen a couple of these elixirs, I'm a fan. Especially as 3-block Go Again. Savage Claw. If a card with 6 or more was pitched to attack with this, it gets +1. Sure. Feels like a decent majestic brute claw. Stadium Security. Chorus. Slippers. Assembly. Seeker Kunai. Which is another... This is a pretty good card. Destroy this. Target attack. Assassin attack gets +1. While this is in your graveyard, you may destroy 2 silver. If you do, return it to the arena. That's a pretty nasty assassin item. That cut and carve. That might be the thing that kind of shows a little bit of a lie in my comment about cards not making like massive changes. That might be that's a pretty potent. It's not massive, but it is very potent. I'll put it that way. I'm already to the point where I'm not necessarily going to stop at every common or even rare unless something comes up that just jumps out at me, but display craftsmanship. I do like that Sprout Strength. Speed Demon. Alright, this one seems neat. Scrap. As an additional cost to play this, you may banish an item or equipment from your graveyard if you control a hyperdriver +1. When this attacks, if it scrapped a hyperdriver, create a hyperdriver with 2 Steam tokens. That doesn't stink. On a 0 for 3. Pilfer the Tomb. Choose one or both. Banish target instant from an opposing graveyard. Banish target yellow card from a graveyard. Nice. Okay. Channel Ice Lock Glaze. Cards in opponent's arsenals are frozen while they control a frostbite or a frozen permanent. Nice. Channel Ice at the beginning of your end phase. Put a flow counter on this, then destroy it unless you put an ice counter. Okay. Yep. All them channels are usually kind of frustrating, and with some of the stuff I've seen about like blowing up frozen stuff, that might be dangerous. Haboob. Draconic Illusionist Aura. At the start of each turn, put a steam counter on this, then destroy it unless you destroy an ash you control for each steam counter. Attack action cards get -1 while attacking or defending. That has some potential, I think. I just found me some rares in the wrong place. Bone Puppetry. When this Necromancer. When this defends, you may return an ally from your graveyard to the arena. If you do, at the beginning of the end phase, destroy it and discard your hand. Fascinating. Okay. Alright, so we've got a legendary and a marvel thus far for the case. We are heading into box 3. It is interesting, you know, the fewer cards, so my stacks aren't quite as unruly. Which is nice. That's a nice feature. Alright, box 3. Let's see what we get out of here. More marvels and legendaries, right? Not so far. But this is a pretty... a lot of people have been on the fence, or, you know, kind of going either direction about this particular set. I'm kind of digging it. Sigil of Grave Spawning. Whenever an aura leaves your graveyard, deal 1 arcane. Whenever any aura. Wow. At the beginning of your... I'm already scared of Rune Blades. Pilfer that too. Let's keep pilfering it. Keep on pilfering it. So that's one thing. I may have all those bulk decks. I've got to go back through and make sure they're actually all Sage legal now, because I just built them to be... I built it to be blitz with rares, so most of them should be, but Sage does have its own... cool. Have its own ban list. There's another Art of the Phoenix. Very nice card. So there's still cards that I will have to look for and take out as relevant. Another Doubling Season. That's a pretty decent rare. Again, there are a lot of things in here that are like, okay. I see what you're doing for Sage in particular. We don't hate that. Pillar of Unity. I think we've already seen those Warrior Unified Feet. Cut and Curve. Strike twice. Ooh, that looks cool. Crown of Frozen Thoughts. Ice Equipment. When this defends, freeze the attacking hero until the start of the next turn. Abilities can't be activated. That hurts my feelings very much. Levin Sheath. Leave them speechless. If you have more health, than each other hero. You may play this as though it were an instant. When this enters the arena, name a card. The name card can't be played from hand while this is in the arena. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy. Decent majestic aura for them reviled heroes. Can really mess with some opposing play patterns. Sowing Thorns. Decompose. And it's just a gain 1. That's pretty nice. This is one of those sets that it just feels like it's going to be, hey, craftsmanship. Difficult to get all of the playlists. Embody Greatness. Oh, I've seen this. The Shiana, it's a name a living legend hero. Become that hero until the start of your next turn, except your base health doesn't change. Vitality, whatever they call it. Pretty nice. Kincact. Sense Weakness. This one's pretty good too. Pay 3, your next guardian attack is +1, dominate, and when this hits, deal damage to all allies they control. So if you're playing against a illusionist, gravy, you can cause some heartburn with that thing. There's another Haboob. There's a display of craftsmanship. Maybe the other warrior card I'm thinking of, maybe it's a majestic. There's another Seeker Kunai. That's a pretty that's a majestic I'm thinking I'm glad to hit a lot of. Sigil of Fate. Not a lot of tokens in the set either. Ooh, Stormwind Sheath. Elemental Defense Reaction. Lightning Bond. If a lightning card, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Evo Beta Base Chest. So we're getting a lot of the equipment. There's a lot of rare equipment, again, to help boost up the Sage. There's a display of craftsmanship in foil. And Whispering Mist. Another Mystic card. Until end of turn, blue attacks and attacks with Ephemeral get +1. Kind of neat. It's decent instant. Cut and Curve. Rip it off the top. Have we gotten a cold foil? Was the Soul Ray this box? I'm not sure we have gotten a cold foil yet this box. Well, there's one. Okay. So we have gotten at least one now. A Shattering Grasp. Destroy target frozen ally. Okay. Not nasty. In any case, we've gotten at least one now. That's all we really need, right? Feign Vengeance. Verdant Tide. Elemental. Create that many +1. That's grody. Another Sapwood Elixir in foil. Love that. Alright, another Channel. Channel the Skybreaker. Go again. For 2, when this enters the arena, and at the beginning of your action phase, create 2 Might. That's not bad. Another foil. Leave them speechless. This time is a foil majestic. Ransack and Raise. Cut and Carve. Tough as a rock. And there is a second cold foil. Embra Forged Gauntlet. If this would be put in your graveyard from anywhere, instead, banish it. Temper and Blood Debt. So that makes sense for the shadow heroes. Glory Plate. Revered Equipment. This gets +1 for each toughness token that has left the arena this turn. And it's Guardwell. That's kind of neat. And last pack of box 3. This is the first, our first box without a big hit. Like either a Legendary or Marvel. I'll be curious to see if the third box gives us one or not. Quite curious. All right, I think. I'm gonna try and do the other case because I have problems. Another display of craftsmanship. Love to see that. That card looks cool. There's that. I cannot think of the name of the card. I guess it must be a Majestic or some such. There's Glyph Destruction Nodes. Deal 3 Arcane up to X target heroes and allies, where X is the number of aura permanents you control with Sigil. Sure. Clear water, so that clears blood rot. See, I just think that's a cool concept. I think those elixirs are a good call. Especially, it boosts your attack. And it's not attack action, so that actually... Like, I could see myself fiddling with that in Dorinthia, too. But it's also helpful. It boosts your attack and clears something that's trying to be annoying. There's a Silken Shawl. We've seen a regular one of those, I believe. So it clears an annoying aura and gives you an attack boost for one. So, I mean, it's cheaper clearing a... It clears a blood rot for cheaper and it boosts your attack, which is kind of awesome. Lobotomy. That's our Orbitoclist card. So that's like, when you think about that, it's good value from that perspective. Now, what does it replace is always the question whenever you're considering new cards for deck building. So that definitely still is the question here. But it's definitely something that Vestige of Flagellation shows some promise. First time an opponent would gain health each turn, instead you lose that much and create that many vigor tokens. That's fascinating. That's actually very interesting. Blade Break too. Huh. Hey, there's our first new pirate ally. Bubba Lubba, run aground. Enters the arena with a +1 attack, 1 tap attack. Remove a +1 from an ally you control. Destroy an aura token. Go again. That's actually handy. Okay. I was trying to process that at first, but it makes a lot of sense in hindsight. It's not a big beefy attacker, but it's an aura clearer, which can be pretty valuable at times. Clearwater. There's another Majestic cold foil. Synapse Spark Cap. That's another Mechanologist one. Tap it, banish an Evo from your hand, create Ponder. And it's battle worn, so that gives it some value. Again, this is not a Sage card since it's a Majestic, but It's got some intrigue to it, I suppose. There's a harpoon right there. Everybody loves deal with some harpoon. All right, I think I've talked myself out of the second case for this video. Or have I? Maybe I haven't. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't talk until I actually make decisions. There's another Channel the Skybreaker. Very nice. That's a big ol' heckin' tree. I'm gonna move those cold foils over there. Cut and curve. Pound of flesh. Always checking that middle card because that's where the delight comes in. Predatory plating. Brute equipment. Instant destroy. Gain 1. Activate only if you control a card with 6 or more attack. That's actually kind of fascinating. And it's got guard. That is actually... That's kind of interesting. I don't hate that. These are, to answer a common question, there's our Whispering Mist again. These are Belgium, both cases I have on hand right now are Belgium cases. Serpent's Kiss, Mournful Casket, down to the last couple packs. Okay, maybe I'll do the gold packs by case. By case, is that how I want to do that? Click Power Show. Is that how I want to do? Like that feels like that's how I want to do that. Submergee. Shield Beater. What are we? That is a Guardian Hammer. No shock there. 4. Tap attack. Cards you own named Visit Ambelheim get go again. Interesting. Evo Beta Arms. There's another Sense Weakness. We've seen one of these already. I wonder if I've missed foil Majestics, because we've seen light on those. Only 2. We got 2 cold foil ones though, so maybe that's what I'm forgetting to take into account. Strike twice, Sigil, and Voltigard. All right, so case 1, we got a Marvel and we got a Legendary. That's a pretty decent start. Pretty decent start indeed. Let me pause for... There my camera is. Let me pause for just a moment to reset, and I will be right back with you. All right, case 2, let's hit it. We are ready. Trying to do this one a touch faster, but you know what? If we don't, we don't. We'll keep on pointing out Mistborn Protector. I haven't seen this. Well, this is defending you've created a card +1. Okay, sure. If something jumps out at me, like that one did, because I hadn't seen it yet, we will take a look at it. Otherwise, we're just going to keep on pushing through. There are a lot of cards here, a lot that I haven't like really dug into yet. That was a weird backwards card. So we'll see. There's our second Blunton. So we're at least getting our Warrior Majestic there. another. That's the same one we had in it. No, we had Cortex. That's right. Base Vizier. That's all right. All right. Criticism revoked. So first, cold foil. So we're getting a lot of majestic cold foils, which is nice. Another Savage Claw. We like that. And then lots of rare cold foils. Now, the thing is, Rend Flesh. Until end of turn, whenever a sword you control hits a hero, you remove a +1 counter from it. If you do, they lose too. Fascinating. Okay, that actually does make sense to me, though. How do we want to do this? The foils are starting to... Fine. We'll figure it out when we need to figure it out. Again, it's one of those that's probably not a Dorinthia card, because she is very rarely going to be interested in the game of giving up a Rend Flesh. Giving up a Tiger Trap, second one of those we've seen. Long story short, she doesn't really want to give up her tokens for counters. So I would say we don't see a lot of that in Dorinthia. On the other hand, there definitely are times where that could be handy. I mean, it's a pretty simple, last minute. It could be a good finisher. That's what I'm trying to say. Ooh, there we go. That's another majestic cold foil, but it's our Channel the Skybreaker, and that looks incredible. That's a good looking card. Okay. It's going to go in the majestic cold foils, but I think that is a better hit than just any old majestic cold foil. That's a gorgeous... I think the regular version of that card is already gorgeous. That extended art is fantastic looking. There's another Art of the Phoenix War. Love that. I really am about to run out of... I might just combine the... I don't want to do that. Y'all don't care. Sometimes I just start talking to myself. There's another Leave 'em Speechless rainbow foil. Second copy of that particular majestic rainbow foil. I just feel like I'm going to have to combine a stack here somewhere. Or just take the... I guess we could just take the basic foils on out of there. I guess that's just what we're going to have to do. Because we're going to need another stack for Majestics here before too long here. Bear Hug. Another Vestige of Flagellation. We don't necessarily need 2 of equipment. But I know my locals will be hunting stuff. I'll be hunting stuff. Everybody will be hunting stuff. So there's another Seeker Kunai. Very nice. Everybody will be hunting stuff. So we'll be able to get stuff done. Another display. Walk in my shoes. Helm of Might and Magic. Blade Break. And nothing super fancy, but still kind of interesting. Better Nolra? Basically. Predatory Plating, okay. There's our third cold foil of this box with the EA channel and then 2 rares. That's pretty nice. not upset by that. Sprout Strength. There's another Ice Lock Glaze. Actually, this is dirty. Contract. Banish opponent's blue cards. Whenever you complete this, create silver. When this hits Mystic Hero, search their deck for any number of energy and banish them. They shuffle. That's nasty. That's really nasty. That is absolutely disgusting. I fiddled with what's her name? Wow. Illusionist. Why can't I remember her name? I've got the deck right over there where I fiddled with it for a little while. I didn't quite get the knack of it and immediately went back to Dorinthia. But I could see that being essentially soul-crushing. Lay Down the Challenge. I think we've seen one of these. Yeah, I like that card. For a 0, intimidate and draw a card if they have more cards in hand still. And go again. I like that card. Alright. With that Majestic Cold Foil, that's a good start. Part of me also really kind of wants to be a jerk to all of you and save all of the gold packs for one opening. Here's the thing about that. Is y'all know I'm a degenerate and you know there's no way I'm not opening them. So I thought about it. But it's not going to happen. There's another Whispering Mist. Decent enough Majestic. Having a good old time. Again, it's a expansion / supplementary set. There's a Tiger Trap. So there's not, like I say, there's not a ton of just like, okay, you're not building up one new class. You're not introducing another class. You basically are ushering in a new format, which is neat. But so like individually, classes and whatnot aren't getting, just nasty. But it is cool to see just a little bit of neat stuff for everybody. And seeing E-Strike is fun. I know a lot of people aren't super happy about the reprint situation. I get it. I understand both ways. I do play the game, but I get to engage with the collecting side of my hobby far more than I get to the gameplay side. So from talking to locals, not everybody is able to approach their hobbies the same way necessarily. So I definitely get, especially with the Sage format, the appeal of, well, I guess most of the reprints aren't really for Sage, but I get the appeal of getting some of those early cards again, getting them in a cheaper manner, whatever the case may be. But I'm also a collector. Got more destruction nodes. So I also see this Felling of the Crown. This card was $60 and now it's, oof. Now that's awesome. There we go. Astrovolt Elemental. An extended foil. The stacks, you may discard an instant card. If you do, draw a card and create Embodiment of Lightning. Love that. And a cold foil in the same pack. Very nice. That was a good pack. Long story short, I 100%, I buy and have sympathies and, you know, personally have some appeal to both sides. And a majestic cold foil. Good grief. This box is pretty spicy. Touch of Reality. Illusionist. It's our X. Oh, okay. So X resources, tap. This gets ward X until end of turn, destroyed at beginning of the end phase. Okay. That's pretty neat. Okay. This is a great box, though. Between that, we got that Astrovolt. This box is rocking it. Another Savage Claw. Love that. We're getting there. We're rocking this thing. Another cold foil. Good grief. Okay. Blackstone Greaves. This box is like, all right. I'll give you some good stuff. Not that the other, the other boxes or other case didn't, but this one's just like, hold my beverage of choice. Feel like that? Hold my beverage of choice. Maybe it's sweet tea. I don't know. But yeah, this is pretty rocking. I'm enjoying this so far. I will particularly enjoy when I really sit down and sort through stuff. There's another Art Phoenix War. I want to, like I said, sit down with all my old Blitz decks I built just to give away to people and rebuild them. So going through these cards to do that, going through these cards, just sorting them in general for my own collection and stuff like that. It'll be fun to learn more about the set as I go. I'm excited. Base legs. Got a couple more packs. I say a couple, like 4 more packs left of this box. How are we feeling about Compendium of Rathe so far? I'm digging it. There's another Skybreaker Chanel. Touch of Reality. Majestic equipment there. It is wild to me, though. I mean, we've been getting cool extended art stuff, so this is not a complaint. It's just fascinating that we got those, that Marvel and Legendary in the previous case, but only 1 Marvel and 1 Legendary. That's kind of wild. Another cold foil. This box had what? This box had a lot of cold foil. I mean, it had a Majestic, and I think that's 3 rares as well. That's either 3 or 4 rare cold foils. Really, when it comes down to it. So, okay. That is 1/2 of a case down. Back half, let's rip. I didn't catch until just then that Phoenix Flame was back in the set too. Good call. Reprint that, especially since their cards, you know, the Phoenix War thing. They're actually cards actively targeting it. Having it back in the set as a reprint is a nice touch. Another Cut and Curve. Sky Warden. This box is off to a slow start. We're just a few packs in though. That don't mean nothing. There's our first Majestic, laying down yet another challenge. Let's think that's 3 of those now. Nothing else wild there. Serpent's Kiss, Molder. So we've got quite a bit of hit gap in this box so far. I guess that's making up for how little hit. That's our 3rd Vestige of Flagellation. We had no hit gap in the last box. They were coming all the time. Ooh, that's cool. When an attack action card with 6 or more defends this becomes a copy of that card. Go again, Mirage. That's nasty, actually. You lose the go again if that happens, but that's still pretty potent. And there is our playset of Blunton. That's still pretty potent when it comes down to it, though. I like that. More Evo Arms. Alright, so we had another packet, so it's going to be another 4 packs until we hit something. Well, there's a cold foil. Okay, I was wrong. We get a cold foil. And that's actually another kind of nice thing, is that we've got all these cold foils. That helps you, even with Sage. You've got cards that aren't like high rarity, but you can still bling it out with the cold foils. I do appreciate. I'm not a major deck blinger, but I do appreciate it for the people who are. Let's put it that way. Inflame the Firebrand. Got more Rending Flesh. Again, it's probably not a staple for me, but I could see its value as a potential finisher. Rune Snare. Your next arrow attack gets +3. It's a Ranger Trap. When this defends and the attacking hero is... Oh, so... I don't know that I understand that card. Can somebody help me with it? Can you just play it normally then? Since it has go again, like you can just play it as a 0+3. That's how I'm reading that. Alternately, you can use it as a trap. That's kind of neat. If I'm reading that right, I like that a lot. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. There's another Cheating Scoundrel. I think that's a cool card. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong, but that strikes me as logical and kind of cool if I'm reading it right. Vain Vengeance. Shimmering Mirage. I would love to see a Marvel or a Legendary in this box. There's another Seeker Kunai though. That's going to be a cool Majestic, I think. I think that's a card that Assassin players are going to be wanting. Glory Plate. Two packs left. Do we get a big ol' hit? Not in this pack. There's another display. We got another cold foil. Not a big ol' hit, but we got another cold foil. Not mad at that. I'm going to grab another pack of sleeves from over here behind me, just in case I think I'm about to run out. Gold pack stack. And last box. All right. Last box, doing 2 cases this opening. We'll do the gold packs. See where we finish. Well, first pack gets us a cold foil. Some dyed silk sleeves for the ninjas. Now, I keep on saying we didn't have any big hits. I need to not forget. Ooh, not seen this. Rockyard Rodeo. This card's attack is equal to the highest base attack of weapons you control. That's kind of fun. I need to not shortchange those extended Majestics. Because I am shortchanging them and I should not be. Those are typically, in most sets, those are also hits. So I'm assuming that is the case here. That those are particularly strong hits. This card, this is the card I've been looking for. I want 3 of these. These are going in Dory. 1 less to play for each +1 counter on swords you control. Target weapon attack, it's +5. I am playing that card. So I need me 2 more of them. That's the card I've been hunting for. Swordmaster's Shine. Give me all of them. It's one of those cards, like, I can see the argument for it actually not being that good in Dorinthia. Because I also could see it having a whole lot of value for decks that are using the sharpen mechanic. Just because if you sharpen 2 different swords or sharpen, you know, swords multiple times, you're going to get, Tempest Dancers. You're going to get use out of that too. Leave 0 and play your next non-attack action card this turn as though it were an instant. Sure thing. But also late game, talking about finishers, Tiger and Reflex. If Crouching Tiger was the last reaction, discard this. Target ninja attack, it's +1. Create a crouching. That's actually pretty, that's kind of cool too. Late game, that's a heck of a finisher. If you've got a bunch of counters, or even if you don't and I just saw a Marvel. Heyo! Sigil of Sylphidai. Banish another aura from your graveyard. If you do, deal 1 arcane. Oof. Okay. There we go. That's a good looking Marvel. See, there we go. There we go. There's another hit for us. Very nice. Very nice. There's another cold foil for us. A slightly dinged Embra Forged gauntlet. There's another cold foil. Goodness gracious. Plating of Unity. This case has been throwing cold foils. I mean, mostly rare ones, but I mean, still a extended art. We got another majestic cold foil, and it's just been slinging rare cold foils. That's kind of wild. This is now 2 boxes of it that have just been bringing them all day. Gentle Breeze. Other attacks have 1 base attack. So you want to play that one late? I'm not sure how I feel about that one. Pound of Flesh. Alright, we are almost done, which means we are almost to 2 cases worth of Antiquity gold packs. Temporal Wobble. It's a negate card. Don't see a whole lot of that. With cost less than the number of aura permanents you control with sigil in their name. Its controller gains an action. Okay, that's actually... that's an interesting trade-off. I kind of like that. That feels like good card design. Engulfing Shadows. That feels like solid card design to me. Cut and Curve. Soulforge Gauntlet. Light Equipment, Arcane Barrier, Combat Chain closes. If it defended, put it in your soul. Decent piece of light equipment. Elemental Strike. Additional cost to play this, banish a card from your hand. If it's Earth, it gets +2. Lightning, it gets Go Again. Ice, it gets Dominate. That's a nice, good Elemental Majestic. Last regular pack. And then we're into the gold. There's another Rainbow Goo Trap. So no last second major hit. We're gonna split these so that gold foil cards can go in the middle, or gold pack cards. So we got Snatch. Oh, first pack. First pack. These cold foil pieces are awesome, but first pack is a Eye of Ophidia Fabled. Goodness gracious. Okay, I'm gonna sleeve all of the gold pack cards for now. Wow. Okay. First pack is a Fabled. Where do I want to put these? I don't even know. Well, let's just set them over here. Ravenous Rabble, and that all you got? That's pretty decent. I guess I actually need another slot here. I'll put the marbles there, because I kind of want to keep the... you know, originally a majestic kind of stuff separate. Okay, I will now say that while I liked the protection of these in the pack, pretty. I don't like the strength of the glue on them, making them hard to remove. I don't love that. I don't love that. Oasis, and cut through the face aid. Another piece of that one card. I mean, we already got an Eye of Ophidia. There's another Snatch. There's a Sensor. There's another Topal, blah, blah. No foils out of any of them yet. I know that those are a bit more improbable. A bit more improbable, a bit less probable. Yeah, there we go. Just what everybody wants to nail. We got another eye puzzle piece. Rusted Relic. Oh, yeah. 2 more gold packs, but can't be mad that a Fabled has already shown its face. Fiddler's Green, slightly dinged up. And of that all you got. Last one. Last one. I should actually do these differently because looking at the back card of it, you can tell whether it's like one of the big hits or not, because it'll have a regular card back. And Remembrance. Okay. Well, that was pretty spicy for a first 2 cases. Marvels and Legendaries from the regular packs. We got Sigil, Evo Basehead, and an Enlightened Strike Legendary. We got some neat Majestic Cold Foils and the extended channel. We got the extended Rainbow Foil Astrovault. I don't know if there's a regular one or not, but we got lots of other good stuff. We got piles of Cold Foils, lots of good Majestics. But we got the Eye of Ophidia in our very first of those packs. We got some good multiple snatches, and some solid Majestics over here too. That all you got's always a good one. Remembrance. That's a pretty cool way to start this thing off. I'm excited. I've got a bunch more coming. We'll see how all that goes. Check back shortly for more of the Compendium of Rathe. We'll see how it goes, especially the Antiquities. Let's rock this thing. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great day. Talk to me about what you're pulling, how you're enjoying this set, what you think about the art. I know there's been a lot of discussion about art changes, all that kind of stuff. Tell me what you're thinking. I'd love to hear it. In any case, have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.